Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 2 of Daryl Show Your Work. And in this episode, I am going to be showing some navigational techniques that you can do in both a Linux environment and a Windows environment. So as you can see, we are using a CLI Linux distribution here as far as Linux, where this is typically used for penetration testing, and it has plenty of neat tools that you can use to do any type of ethical hacking on the client's machine. While we won't be getting into any of that type of fun today, yeah, I know. We'll be simply using going through different commands on how to navigate this environment, because we need to know how to do things on a very fundamental level first before we could get to anything real serious, anything really fun. But as a disclaimer, this is all just for ethical purposes and not to actually, hack anybody's machine or do any type of malicious behavior. With that said, let's get into it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take advantage of Linux's scripting engine, and we're going to write a script which basically is going to keep track of all the commands that I'm going to be going through and writing, and it's going to take those commands and put it into a txt file and keep a nice little history for us. So to do this, I'm typing script -f-a and the name of the file, which is going to be output.txt. So I hit enter, and CLI lets me know that the script has started, and all output will be going to this output.txt file. All right. So first, we want to use a very basic command, which tells us what our current working directory is. So in order to do that, we just simply type in pwd, not to be mistaken for password, but this is what tells us where we currently are. So we are currently in the home / CLI directory. All right. So next thing we're going to do, we're going to change directories here. So in order to change directory, you write cd, which is short for change directory, and then let's go inside of user / bin. All right, hold on, let me that, and then hit enter. And as you can see now, from the command line, it shows us that we're in user bin. But if you also want another way to verify that, we could just do pwd again, and that outputs our current working directory, which confirms it is user bin. All right. So the next thing we want to do is we want to see, well, what is actually in the user bin directory. So in order to list all of its contents, or to see what its contents are, we're going to write ls, enter, and as you can see, we get a pretty large list of files stored in the bin folder. So let's say we wanted a bit more details about these files. Say we wanted to know what the permissions are. We wanted to know what the file sizes were, when the last modification dates of these files were. We would simply do ls-l, and as you can see, it's going to provide us those details. So as you can see, we have the origin dates here. We also have the file sizes here, as well as the permissions. Which, don't worry if you don't know how to immediately read this, but these are R is for read, W is for write, and X is for execute. And these are different permissions that could be assigned to different files, depending on what we need them to do. All right. So to see the next command we're going to go through, let's try to sort these files by modification dates and times. So in order to do that, we're going to do ls again, but this time we're going to do LT. As you can see, the earliest the date that that a file was made here was back in 2008 on November 23rd. And as you go up, as you can see that the years go up, and then we start to have more files created in 2018, and you can see that those are organized from least to greatest in terms of months. So we start from March and then we go up to June, August, and as we scroll up, we can kind of see the same order there. All right, so that's how we list it by modification date order. So let's say we wanted something a bit more easy on the eyes, or something with a better human readable format, and we also wanted to know the file size. It's something that doesn't just give us a bunch of numbers. You know, everybody may not know how to read this. It's megabytes or kilobytes. So let's say we wanted something a bit more easier on the eyes, and that gives us the details, those type of details that we want. So we would do a ls -lh. Go back a little bit. Hit enter. As you can see, now we have like 6.4K. We have 1.3 M. So it breaks it down into kilobytes and megabytes. So we know exactly, we have a better idea of the file size. And as you can see here on the right, the file names and everything is a bit easier in the eyes and a bit easier to read than the last format that we had when we did the LT command. So next, let's see how we can go back to our home directory. So if we wanted to shortcut back to our home directory, we would do CD, and then I have a don't know how the best what's the name of that of the squiggly line, but the squiggly line that I'm referring to is when you shift and you hit the button that starts your number key at the top. So it's the first button next to the one on your number key on the top of your keyboard. You hit shift, and that's what gives you this little wiggly character. So you do CD wiggly, space wiggly, and then enter. And now we're back to our home directory. So we are no longer in user/bin. We should be back actually to home/ Cali. So in order to verify that, we're going to do pwd. As you can see, we're in home / Cali now. All right. So next, let's try to let's experiment a little bit with the autocomplete feature within Linux. So I'm going to start typing a command, but I'm not going to finish it because I want to show you how this works. So I'm going to start writing a cat/etc. Oops, hold on. Gotta go back and add my slash there. Etsy. Let's see, where in Etsy do I want to go? Let's say I actually do want to go to the password file this time, right? All right, so I'm gonna just type that little bit, that cat/Etsy/pass, and then if I wanted to complete it without typing it, I would simply just hit the tab key, and then Linux it gives me the rest of the folder name. So Linux literally it has features like that where it has a pretty good predictability of guessing exactly where you're trying to go based upon the directory that you're in and the amount of letters that you're putting in the words that we're spelling out the folder name. So I'm not going to hit enter, but this is where you would use this cat command would basically tell us would basically display to us what is actually in the passwd password directory. So not going to open that up, but a cat command is usually what displays the output of a directory or a particular file. All right. So let's see. Well, what can we do next here? Let's try to make a directory. All right. So we're going to, in order to create a new directory, which is a new set of folders, we're going to do mkdir or mkdir, which is short again for make directory, and then we're going to specify where this new directory is going to be located and what we want to name it. So we're going to put this new directory. We're going to put it in home/Cali where we are, and we're going to call it dir1, as in directory 1. All right, so I'm gonna hit enter. All right, so in order to see if Linux indeed made that for us, I'm going to do a ls to list the contents of my current directory, because our current working directory, remember, it's home/Cali. So ideally we should be able to see directory 1 if we indeed did create that folder. So let's see what's in here. All right, so looking at the output here, as you can see, dir1 is indeed in our working directory, which is good. All right, so then let's see. Let's say we wanted to see any hidden files in our current working directory, because some files, just because we do a list command, doesn't necessarily mean it shows us every single file that's in there. Sometimes there's hidden files in there. So when we do ls-la, it specifically shows us any hidden files within that directory. So let's hit enter. And as you can see, we have some additional files on top of what we were already able to see. And most of those files are going to start with dot. So anything dot are those hidden files that we would have to use the -la command in order to see. And again, and we're looking at this from both a blue team and red team point of view. So if a malicious actor was in here, these would be ways that they would be able to see hidden files, or like I showed you with the cat command. The cat command would be a way that if they were able to get to that password directory, of how they would display the output of that on the screen. All right, let's see. Now, if we wanted to, let's say we wanted to change our directory all the way back to root. And when I say root, I mean as far back as we could go, and that's beyond Cali, and that's beyond home. And we wanted to take it back to the root directory. We would simply type cd / enter, and we're in the home directory. And so in order for us to verify this, we're going to do pwd again. And of course, it shows us that we are indeed in the home directory. Now let's see what's actually in the home directory. Of course, we're going to do ls again to list the contents. All right, so as you can see, these are all the folders that are in the home directory. And let's see if we can find where we started out at first. So here, as you can see here, this is the home directory. This is where we were originally, and within the home directory is the Cali folder. All right, so let's say we wanted to change directories and wanted to go to the var folder. So we're going to do a cd / var, enter. And now we're in the var, as you can see from the command line, we're in the var directory. But just for some extra verification, pwd, and indeed we are in var. So some other cool command line features we can type in here. Let's try tty, which tells us, let's say we have multiple terminals open. Typing tty would tell us exactly which terminal we are in at the moment. So right now we are in terminal 1. Okay, let's say we wanted to know want to verify which user, we have multiple users on this machine, which user am I currently logged in as? And in order to do that, we simply type in who am I, all lowercase together, and it tells us we're Kali Linux, and we're Kali. I'm sorry, it's and as you can see from the name, it's Kali at Kali. If it was anything else, the name would be displayed here differently. It wouldn't be just be Kali at Kali. It would be something else at Kali. For instance, if we were, let's say, the root account, which you rarely ever want to be in that account because, you know, that's, I mean, you can do all type of stuff in that account. It's typically advised not to be in root because so much damage could be done to the OS that way. But if we were logged in as root, it would say root at Kali. So, okay, so we've done a who am I. Let's try a W command. And what a W command it does, it provides the details of all logged in users, including the current system time, system uptime, the number of logged in users, and the system load averages. So let's just see what that looks like for a quick instance. All right, so as you can see, right now we're the only ones logged in, but it shows our username, and it shows when we logged in, you know, how long we were idle, and it gives us a lot of other information that as an administrator that would be vital to us. So that would be very important to us, especially if from a blue team perspective, if we were looking at this and we wanted and we saw we thought we had a particular or a specific user that shouldn't be in here or an intruder, we would be able to go in here and look at things like, okay, is there a person in here or user in here that shouldn't be in here? Is there some new account that we're not familiar with that's in here? Or if it is a account, but that account is compromised, is there anything here about these statistics that look off? So that would help. That would help a lot in investigation of a particular malicious insider or intruder. All right. So, and one last thing we could do here is, let's say we wanted to just see our name, our username displayed here on the screen for us. We would do an echo and a $user, hit enter, and that works pretty much the same as who am I, but it's just another way you could display the current account you're using during this session. So I'm going to switch over to Windows, and we're going to do some of these same commands, but in a Windows environment. Let me switch machines here for us. All right. Excuse the slowness of my machine. All right, here we are. All right, so first thing we want to do is we want to type in CMD. That gets us our command line. All right, so I'm going to run as administrator. Just make sure I have permissions to do everything I want to show you. All right, for first thing we're going to do, so just like we wanted to see what our working directory was in Linux. All right, on this side to see what our current working directory is, we're going to type in simply dir. And I showed this in my previous video, but it's just a refresher, just to get more familiar with the Windows command line. All right. The next thing we're going to do, let's say we want to change directory. All right. Well, not just change directory. Let's say we wanted let's see what changing to root looks like in Windows. So if we type the same CD / command here, it takes us back to the beginning of the C drive, and that's whatever drive we're currently in. It takes us back to that as root. So that's the equivalent for us going back to root in Linux is equivalent for us just going back to all the way back to C. If we're in the C drive or whatever letter drive that you're currently in. All right. And let's see, we want to see hidden files like we did in the Linux environment. Here in the Windows environment, to see hidden files, we're going to do a directory, a dir space backslash AH. All right. And now, as you can see, these are files. These are specifically, these are the hidden files that we could not see in the list that we got, that we would get previously if we were to simply just type in dir. Even though it was a pretty extensive list, these were files that were not part of that list that we originally searched for. So let's say we want to know what our current username is, or who we were currently logged in as. We're going to do a username, a percent username, and then percent. So that's echo percent username percent, hit enter, and it tells us that our username is lab user. And again, let's say from a red team perspective, let's say someone was able to actually compromise your machine, was actually able to get onto it and have an active session. Well, this would be one of the first commands they would use to see that, hey, to verify who they're logged in as. So they were aiming to be like an administrator or something of that nature, or targeting a particular username. Let's say they brute force a particular user that had the type of permissions that they wanted. This is how they would verify that they were indeed that user. So this is the conclusion of this video. But one thing, my call to action is going to be a little different than usual. Of course, I want you to like, subscribe, follow, and share, and all that good stuff. But the most important thing that I want you to do is I want you to watch what I'm doing here. And if you don't take anything else from this, for those trying to get into the cybersecurity industry or trying to move up in the cybersecurity industry, what I'm doing now is something that I highly recommend that you do, which is document your progress, or document your abilities and your skills to be able to show off to potential employers. So it's not just being able to speak to those things. It's not having those certifications, which displays your knowledge, but you also want to be able to show that you have the skills that support that knowledge that you have with those certifications. So right now, this is a vlog series. I'm making a video documentation of this to be able, to show everyone what I'm able to do. But it doesn't necessarily have to be in this format. You can also do it in a written format. A lot of people would tell you, well, go start up your own home lab, buy some old computers and configure that, which could be expensive or time consuming, which honestly, a practical way to do this is use platforms with labs already set up for you, such as Try Hack Me, or Hack the Box, or Let's Defend. These are platforms where they already have labs like this set up for you. And really all you have to do is do what I'm doing now. It's either film yourself doing it and be able to speak towards what you're doing and show that you understand what's going on, or write it and show screenshots, and again, be able to write and explain what you're doing, and then start to create a portfolio for yourself. And that, I think that would be that's probably really going to help you a lot, and also be able to show employers that you do indeed have the skills to support your certifications, or the skills to support whatever you have on your resume and your overall job experience. But it was great going through this with you all today, and I will see you in another video.